You're now tuning into the Princess with the Real Show, where I keep it real all day, every day. And I wanted to touch on a few different things, starting off with parenting and the importance of being there for your children. One thing I touched on my social media recently was parents not paying attention to who their kids being around. Like, you drop your kids off at someone's house and you don't meet the parents. I think that is crazy for you not to want to meet the parents of the kid that your kid will be spending the night with. Like, I think parents have to do better in that sense. That's the same thing with allowing your kids. Like, it's so crazy for me when I see elementary school kids at the bus stops early in the mornings, 6 o'clock in the morning by themselves at the end of the road when it's dark outside. Like, where are the parents? I think parents need to be more accountable for their children. Like, I think parents think that everything is easy and everything is good. Like, oh, well, I know this neighborhood is good. You don't know your neighborhood. You don't know everybody who's around there. You don't know who's coming in and out. So you want to make sure you protect your kids in any way that you can possibly protect them. That's the same thing with letting your kids spend the night at somebody's house. For me, the way I look at it is I keep kids alive. I don't allow my kids to go stay with people. And the reason why I don't is because I like to check into the parents. I like to know who the parents is, what they're about, what they do in their household, what is their extracurricular activity, what kind of things they're going to have around my kids. Like, that's very important for me. That's why I am always home with my kids, because I don't trust them staying with people like that. Yes, I know they're old enough to be able to come home and tell me what's what, but I don't even want to put them in a situation where they have to come home and tell me some bad stuff. I would rather their friends come over to my house and they spend the night over here and have a good time. Which is why I also buy my kids so much luxury things, so many different games and stuff like that. It's not just for them. Like, a lot of people think, oh, she's spoiling them kids, she doing that, she doing too much for them. It's not just for them. It's for any kid who wants to come to my household. Growing up, I always envisioned myself of being that mom who allows all the kids to come over whenever they want to come over. And it's like a fun house. Like, that was my vision for life, is to have a fun house. A house that kids can come to and they can have fun doing whatever they want to do. Whether it's playing a game, whether it's playing board games, whether it's like anything. Like, that's my whole goal in life, is to make sure my kids have everything in the house to keep them, entertained throughout the day, but also to entertain other children when they come over. Positivity for me is positive to keep kids out of the streets. Is give the kids something good that they can do, opposed to getting into trouble and doing things they shouldn't be doing. So for me, I enjoy having kids over, even though they do get on my nerves sometimes. I enjoy having kids over and seeing that joy in them, seeing that they're having a good time. That makes me smile. That makes me feel like, okay, I'm accomplishing a dream that I put in place. Because one of my dreams was to have a fun house for children to come to. When I have my kids, I always wanted my kids to be able to invite their friends over, and for their friends the next day not to say, oh, their house was boring, oh, their mom was uptight, oh, this and that. I'm kind of like the fun mom, fun auntie. But I also lay down the law as well. But I like to have fun with the kids. But my thing is just because I am that person don't mean that other parents know who I am, because you still have to check in to figure out who I am to know any of that about me. So for me, I could be a killer, I could be a rapist, I could be anything. For a parent to just drop their kids off, don't even speak to me, don't say nothing to me. They may sometimes drop their kids off at somebody else's house and have their kids walk to my house, and there's no communication between me and the parents at all while they're at my house. Even the next morning when I'm saying, okay, what time your parents coming, there's really no communication between me and the parent. And that's crazy to me. Yeah, I could pick up the phone and call the parent and talk to the parent, but here's my thing is that's your child. You brought your child into my household. You should be the one checking and doing your due diligence to make sure that I am a good parent, that I am a good role model for your kids to be around. And to me, if you don't do that, you don't care enough about your children. To me, you have to care about your children enough to check in on where they're staying at, where they're going to be at. I mean, let's go back to the whole R. Kelly situation. These kids was leaving and going to the studios and being with this man, and their parents had no idea what was going on. That's because you weren't in tune with what your child has going on in life. That's because you weren't asking questions. You weren't doing the checking that you need to be checking. Hell, these same girls is out there supporting him at trial, but the parents are still saying that they can't find their kids. How can you not find your kids when they're on TV, when their video, when their pictures and everything is being taken, supporting the man that you said is holding them hostage? I mean, you have to look at that as a parent and how that makes you look as a parent. Not knowing your child's whereabouts, not knowing what's going on with your child, not understanding that they're going through something that they need somebody to talk to them about before it gets worse, before they get in a position where they're brainwashed, so to say, or where someone else can influence them to do something that they know they shouldn't be doing. See, what that is, as a parent, you have to teach your child values. You have to make sure they have morals. You got to make sure they have standards, something to stand on. Like, if you don't instill that in your children at a young age, when they get older, they're not going to know how to deal with certain situations. Like, and I just, someone just commented on one of my posts that I posted on social media in regards to, you know, so on my social media, I posted, beware of false knowledge. It is more dangerous than ignorance. And Black Man United _ BMU, he commented on it. He said, because all we've been getting since birth has been false. And I completely agree with that statement. And the reason why I agree with that statement is because our parents, they taught us the things that they felt like we needed to know to prepare us for this world. But they lived in a different time. They dealt with different things than what we deal with nowadays. So now we're dealing with some things that our parents have never dealt with. Yeah, they dealt with the racial stuff. They dealt with the slavery. They dealt with things like that. But we're dealing with a lot of different other things as far as, and technology is so much different than it was when our parents was coming up. So a lot of the stuff that they taught us and a lot of the stuff that they told us how to be and how to act is not going to be able to be applied in this day and time because things have changed. Times are different. So a lot of the knowledge that our parents did give us at an early age was false knowledge because that did not prepare us for today's world. So as a parent, that's why I say you can't tell your kids how to go out into this world and how to be, because things in life change all the time. You may not be able to prepare them for everything that's going to take place in the world. But what you can do is you can instill morals and values in your child. You can make sure that they understand the morals and values of who they should be as a person, and to not go against who you are and what you stand for as a person. So I think that's the main thing that parents need to work on instilling in their kids. Don't work on trying to tell them, oh, do this and do that, because things change. Times are different. Times change every year. Like, it's so much that happened this year that nobody even would have thought of happening. Like, there's so much different things that's being revealed this year that nobody would even have thought would have been a case to be a revealing of something. So I think as a parent, we need to just make sure we instill morals and values into our children. Making sure that they understand right from wrong. Making sure that they understand when someone is leading them in the wrong path. You can't tell your child what to do. Like, when they get to a certain age, they're going to make their own decisions. All you can do is hope that the things that you instilled in them, they carry on into life. And when they're making different decisions in life, they take that moment to think about, okay, my parents did tell me this. Should I carry on in this way or should I do it differently? Like, that's all you can do as a parent, is hope that they carry on into life with the things that you instilled into them. As a parent, you know, so many parents be like, oh, I wasn't a good parent because their kids turned out in a way that they didn't want them to be. That's not your fault. I don't blame a parent for the way your child acts as an adult. Because here's my thing is, we all go through trials and tribulations as a child. Me, I went through so much shit. Like, but I turned out great. I could have turned out differently. I could have been a hoe. I could have been a money hungry girl. I could have been all kinds of stuff because of the things that I've been through. But because of the values and the morals and things that were set in me, I became a great woman. Like, I took the negative from my past and I looked at that and said, I never want to deal with that. I never want to live like that. So I trained myself and I got myself strong enough to be better than that, to go harder, to make sure that I didn't have to go through those things. And I do the same thing for my kids. I don't want them to go through those struggles. I don't want them to see the pain that I've seen. So as a parent, yeah, I understand that we don't want our kids to see or go through the same trials and tribulations that we have went through. But let's be smart about it. Those things that we went through did make us strong. They did help us to grow and to be strong people. So with that being said, no, I don't want my kids to go through everything that I went through as a child. But I want them to understand. I want them to understand how it is and how the world is, that money don't grow on trees. I want them to know that. Yeah, I'm going to give you the world if I can give it to you. But money don't grow on trees. There may be times where we have to sacrifice and we may have to struggle. And you got to understand those struggles. You have to understand that sometimes mama ain't got it. Sometimes mama can't do it. And the thing about my kids is I love them for that, because they do understand. They understand. They always want something, even when they know I can't do it. But they understand. They don't get bitter. They don't get angry at me. They don't go out here and try to rob and steal. They don't try to do anything that they can possibly do to still get what they want. They sit back and they wait until the time is right. You may not always get what you want when you want it. But if you wait and you be patient, it will come around to you when the time is right, if that was meant for you to have. Because everything that you want ain't meant for you. And a lot of people don't understand that everything that you want ain't meant for you. So if you out here chasing a career and you like, this shit is never popping out, nothing's never happening with it, I've been doing this for 20 years and ain't nothing going on, maybe that's not for you. Maybe something else was for you. It took you a long time to realize that this ain't for you. Everybody has career goals. Everybody wants to make it in life. Everybody wants to be a certain person in life. That doesn't mean it will turn out that way. And you have to be okay with that and learn how to continue to move on if things don't turn out the way you wanted it to turn out. Marriage Boot Camp, Celebrity Edition. You know, they got, who they got? Waka Flocka, Tammy, and all of them on there. So, one thing, Fizz got up there and he got to talking about his life. And to my surprise, he didn't want to be in a group. He didn't want to be a singer. He didn't want to take that path in life. He really wanted to be a ball player. But what he had to do is he had to make sacrifices for his family. And that's what we all have to do. If you're not making any sacrifices for your family, what are you doing? Like, to me, if you sit back and let your family go through shit and you let your family struggle and you're not making those sacrifices to try to make things better, at least a little bit, then you're not for family. You don't give a fuck about those people. You have to learn to make sacrifices for your family. So, and to me, I don't want to hear you like, oh, I'm good, we don't have to sacrifice. Everybody in life have to make some type of sacrifices for their family. Whether it's you sacrificing going to an event because your family needs you there, whether you sacrificing eating because your family need to eat. There are so many different types of sacrifices you can make for your family. So I'm not just saying financially. There's plenty of different sacrifices you can make for your family. You can sacrifice your time and go give family time that needed some of your time. That's a sacrifice. So if you're not making any sacrifices to make sure your family survives, then that's a problem. And my thing is for Fizz, what he did was he sacrificed the dream that he wanted, the career that he wanted to have. He sacrificed that and jumped into a career that he felt was going to bring the cash faster to be able to support his family and take care of his family. He did what was right for his family. But in doing what is right for your family, you sometimes lose yourself and you sometimes hate yourself because you didn't follow your dreams. Now, for me, I believe in making sacrifices, but I don't want anyone in my life to give up on their dreams because of a sacrifice. Here's my thing is you can sacrifice, but also follow your dreams. It may not come as fast as it would have came if you weren't doing sacrifices, but it will still happen if it was meant to be. So I said that to say, like, it's okay to make sacrifices, and it's okay to still want to follow your dreams at the same time as making sacrifices. I know sometimes you get in those situations where it's like, I got to choose. I got to choose between this career and doing everything I need to do to be a part of this career, or I got to choose to spend time with my family and be there for my family. If you have to choose between your career and your family should always win. Period, point blank. That's my opinion. Your family should always win, because here's the thing is when that career is gone, or when some shit fell in that career and you let your family go by the wayside, then you have nobody there for you. So if you had to choose between the two, you choose your family. But at the same time, if you're in a situation where you have to choose between the two, you have to figure out what kind of sacrifice can you make so you can achieve both. So you can be there for your family and also be there on your career. As long as you figure out how to achieve both, then it can happen. It's all a part of a sacrifice. You may not sleep at night. You may not get sleep because your time is being pulled here and there. You may be broke all the time because your family need it and your career need it. Like, it's so many different factors of sacrificing. But don't give up on your dreams. Because watching Marriage Boot Camp, one thing that I've seen with Fizz is he hurts inside. And I don't even think he realized it as much until he got to that show, that he's hurting inside because he feel like he failed himself because he didn't get to follow the dream that he wanted to follow. So, and I tell anybody this, anybody who talks to me about giving up, forget this, I'm going to just go do this, I'm going to do this, I'm just going to give up on this. I tell anybody who come to me with those kind of statements is never give up on your dreams. You will hate yourself in the end if you give up on your dreams. And then all the people that you were working and sacrificing your dreams for, you're going to eventually end up hating them too. So I say, don't give up on your dreams. Just make sacrifices to make it happen. Not only is making sacrifices something that, in my opinion, is done on a daily basis in life with people. I know I make hella sacrifices for my family, for my children, and for a lot of the people that I fuck with. I make sacrifices to make sure they get my time, that they get my attention, that they get whatever they can get from me to help them to succeed in life. I'm that type of person. I want to see everybody make it. I don't care if I don't get no sleep at night. If that means I'm helping someone else to make it, I'm good. Like, people may not believe me. They may not want to hear me when I say it, but I am here to help anybody I can possibly help make it in the world. Because nobody was there for me. I had no one there for me trying to help me to make it, trying to push me towards my dreams, trying to tell me I can be a better person than what I was. I didn't have that. I had to do that on my own. And it was hard. It was hard. It was draining. It was very emotional. Like, when you don't have anyone in your corner telling you you can do it, keep following your dreams. When your days are dark and you just feel like there's no more hope for you, it's always good to have somebody in your corner saying, do it. You got this. Today is a bad day. Tomorrow's going to be better. And I'll be that person for anybody who wants me to be that person. Because in my opinion, which I've stated several times, everybody needs somebody. And I don't have a problem with being that somebody, because I want everybody to make it in life. I want everybody's dreams to come true. And when I say everybody, I'm talking to my haters. I'm talking to I don't have any enemies that I know of. I'm talking to my haters. I'm talking to everybody who just needs that help. Like, if you don't fuck with me, but you need some help, and you know that I can help you, why not reach out to me and see what I can do to help you out? I'm not one of those people who hold grudges either. So if we had some problems in the past, that shit's in the past. Now, we may have to talk about that to get past it once we talk again, but that shit's in the past. I don't hold grudges. Now, I do cut people off without a notice, and I don't think that's a problem. I shouldn't have to explain to a person why I'm cutting them off. You know what you did. You know how you fucked up. If you know me enough, you should know what you did to hurt me, to make me not want to deal with you no more. And when I cut people off, it has nothing to do with another person. It has nothing to do with an outsider. It's not, oh, well, you befriended this person, or you started dating this person, or you started doing this. No. When I cut somebody off, it's strictly because of how they acted towards me, how they made me feel as far as a friendship goes. They made me feel that they wasn't a good friend. They made me feel that they didn't have my best interest at heart. They made me feel that they wasn't here for me, they was here for them. I will cut you off in an instance. That's just who I am. And I don't want to change that about me, because the majority of the time when I cut people off is a reason. And once you cut people off, it's so crazy. Once you cut people off, you really start seeing the true evil in who they are. You really start to see why, like, damn, how did I fuck with them for so long? How did I kick it with them for so long? And it's fucked up, because we be blinded by that friendship. We be blinded by that loyalty that we don't always see when people doing us wrong. But me, I've been through so much in life that I really pay attention to everything. I analyze everything. I may overthink a lot of things, but it all boils down to, when I get that inclination in my spirit, I listen to that shit, because my spirit don't never lie. And anybody who deals with me and knows, if I told them, like, my spirit told me something, best believe that shit was real. Best believe that shit came true. Any of my homies can tell you, like, and it's crazy because they look at me like, Princess, how did you know? And it's just like, my spirit told me, and I listened to that shit. I done had friends befriend people, and I'm like, they ain't no good people. They not good. Like, I'm not fucking with them. You can fuck with them, I'm not fucking with them. And then it all comes out that they weren't good people. I've had friends in situations, and I'm like, okay, if you deal with it this way, it's going to turn out like this. If you deal with it like this, it's going to... And it always comes out to be correct. So I listen to my spirit. People call me crazy all day long, but I know I'm crazy, and I'm going to listen to my spirit, because my spirit is never going to steer me wrong, just like a woman's intuition. If you as a woman, you feel something inside, go with that feeling, because 9 times out of 10, that feeling ain't wrong. If you feel like something is going on, trust and believe something probably going on. It may not be exactly what you think it is, but it's something going on. So don't push those feelings aside. Don't act like, oh, okay, that's just me in my head. Like, let me stop thinking too much. No, you needed to think that. That needed to come to your head, and what you're feeling is probably real. People be so afraid to act on how they feel because they're scared of what the next person will say, or how somebody else will feel about them saying something about their feelings. So they don't act on it. And I am guilty of that too. You know, I'm working on that, because there's certain things that I don't act on. I just, you know, keep that in my head as a mental thought, and I try to figure out how I'm going to carry this out later on. But we have to start expressing ourselves on all levels. Yeah, I express myself for the most part. 90% of the time, I'm open and honest about my feelings, but sometimes I keep myself in a rut about certain shit because I don't want to put it out there right then and there. I want to take that time to collect more evidence before I just throw some shit out there. That's who I am. I'm kind of like a detective in my head, because I like to build up all the evidence that I can build up before I release that motherfucker. So that way when I release it, can't nobody come back and counteract, because I got too much evidence. I got too much proof that you can't counteract that shit. So that's why I operate the way I operate, as far as that 10% that I keep inside, is because I'm building up evidence. And in different situations, you never know. Like, let's take the Chloe situation where the girl Jordan supposedly slept with her husband, and Jordan was a close friend of her sister. So, like, she would have never thought that was happening. She would have never thought that was going on. But when she found out about it, she took action. Now, she has stayed with him for cheating before, but here's the thing is, we've all been cheated on before. Can't one person in their life say that they have never been cheated on in their life. Can't not one person say that. And if you can say that, then you ain't never been through shit in life. Because everybody has been cheated on a time in their life. And every woman who has been cheated on has forgiven a man for cheating on them before. So I don't fault no woman for wanting to forgive their man because he fucked up. He realized he fucked up and he want to be better. He ain't going to do that shit no more. It's okay to forgive. It's okay to, you know, look past that shit and be like, that's a thing in the past. We're going to build stronger. We're going to be a stronger unit. That is perfectly fine. But when that person continues to do the same thing and continue to hurt you in the same way that they know they hurt you, then enough is enough. There comes a time when you got to get out. So it looks like Chloe got out. Hopefully she stay out. We don't know. But at the same time, that's her life. And if she chooses to forgive again, she can forgive again. But then you have this whole situation of, they brought this girl in who they thought was family. And they thought she looked at them like family. But yet she fucked the family's man. This is another reason why I don't allow females in my house. This is another reason why I don't fool with females like that. Because females do sneaky shit like that. Females, like, it's the temptation for a man. He was tempted. You brought the temptation around him so many times, and the girl was willing and ready, so he jumped on that temptation. That's why I say don't bring temptation around your man. And it's not to say that you just know he gonna cheat and you trying to keep girls away so he don't cheat. It's no. If you constantly bringing females around, single females who's kind of loose and who's kind of open like that, then you never know what could possibly happen. And that's why everybody's so shocked in this situation, because she was always around like family. But don't nobody know what be going on behind the scenes of what don't nobody see. And that's why I don't bring females around. Like, if you single or in a relationship, I don't trust you. I would not trust a female in my household with my dude by herself. I wouldn't trust bringing females around my dude. I had a girl, so crazy. When I first moved out of my place and got a place, when I first moved out of my parents' house, got a place of my own, and I befriended some girls in my neighborhood. The girl's over here at my house, and she's talking about how she took her best friend man, how she slept with her best friend man, and fuck it, if he wanted to fuck, then I fucked, and da 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 da. We never talked again after that day. That was the last time I spoke to that girl. Because if you would do that to your best friend, you'll do that to anybody. And stuff like that is another reason why I don't bring females in my household. Because she was so bold to tell me, somebody she barely knew, she just met me. We have only known each other for maybe 3 or 4 days. But you was bold enough to come to my house and tell me that you fucked your girl's man. and you thought I was going to be cool with that and allow you to continue to sit on my porch and continue to talk to me. No, I don't operate like that. Because anybody, as a friend, if you would fuck your friend, man, you would fuck my man. And I don't got time for that. I don't got time to catch murder cases or none of that over no dumb shit. And my thing is, when I say catch a murder case, it's not because, oh, she fucked my man. It's because of disrespect. A lot of people don't understand when a female fight another female who's messing with their man, it ain't because of the man. It's because you disrespected me. You knew who I was. You knew my position. You knew where I stood in that relationship. But yet you still decided to sleep with him. Then we have a problem. That's when the females have a problem. Same thing is if you sleeping with somebody's man, but you calling the girl and you talking shit to her. She's not fighting over him. She's fighting over the respect. You showed her a lack of respect, and now she has to show you why you need to respect her. So a lot of men need to understand that. People need to understand that when girls are fighting and they both fucking the same man, most of the time it's not because of the man that they're fighting. They're fighting for their respect. Men shouldn't put a woman in that position to have to fight for their respect. But if they're put in that position, they will fight for their respect. Win or lose, they will fight for that respect, as they should. Every woman, every man, everybody should be respected out here in this world. And if you don't show respect, then you got to deal with the consequences of not showing someone respect. I know for me, there was many days where I had to go check a female disrespected me. It had nothing to do with the man. It was disrespectful to me because females knew who I was. And I have no problem with checking somebody if I feel like they disrespected me. That's one thing I never bite my tongue on. And you shouldn't either. If you feel the disrespect, you speak up on it then. The problem is a lot of people, they feel that disrespect and they just be quiet about it because they be like, maybe they wouldn't be disrespectful. Maybe I'm taking it wrong. No, if you feel like somebody disrespecting you, then you speak up on it. You ask the question. Ask them if they disrespecting you. Ask what's what. And if they, if they say it's not what you thought it was, you can apologize and y'all can move forward. But my thing is don't allow somebody to disrespect you and get away with it. Because that's just like a bully. If you allow a bully to disrespect you and get away with it and continue to bully you, they're going to continue to do it because they know they can get away with it. So that's the same thing with disrespect. A person will continue to disrespect you if they feel like they can get away with it. If you're giving them that opportunity to get away with disrespecting you, they will continue to do it. So I speak up on it every time. There will not be any disrespect that I do not speak up on. Period, point blank. And I say my piece and I'm done with it. I'm not going to sit here and be bitter and be sad and be in my feelings. I'm going to say what I feel, get that shit off my chest so I'm not in my feelings, and I'm going to move on. Now, whoever I'm talking to who was disrespecting me, that gives you your opportunity to make some changes. Now, if you come back with some more disrespectful shit, we probably won't be in communication no more, and hopefully it don't go down in a bad way. Disrespect is not tolerated. Nobody should tolerate disrespect on no level. Nobody should tolerate that because, like I said, if you tolerate it once and you let it keep going, it's going to keep going for the rest of your life, and you just call yourself somebody who's always going to be disrespected. Thank you for tuning in to the Princess with the Real Show. I touched on respect. I touched on parenting. I touched on relationships. And I touched on following your dreams. I think it's so important to follow your dreams. If you need help towards getting towards your dreams and there's anything I can do to help you, hit me up. If you need somebody to talk to and you need somebody to speak to you and, help uplift you, hit me up. If you just need somebody to be there in your corner to, push you, hit me up. I will be that person for you. Like, I'm here to help anybody make it in life. Like I said, I didn't have that growing up. I didn't have anybody out there having my back, looking out for me in the ways that I needed somebody to look out for me. Hell, I really still don't have that to this day. But I continue to strive to move forward. And I want to help anybody I can to help them strive to move forward, to be a better person, to be a better them, to grow, and to being more financially stable, to be able to be out here in this world and do the things that they want to do in life. I understand it's hard. In my song, I'm just a girl living in this dirty world with you. But I'm not going to give up on myself. And I don't want anyone else to give up on themselves. So if you're at that low point and you feel like, I give up. I don't want to continue this. I don't want to keep moving forward. Hit me up. Like, everybody needs somebody. And I'll be that somebody for you. Thank you for tuning in. Until next week.